Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Serial at Midnight. My name is Heath, and it's time for another thrift store video. But this one's a little bit different because I did not go out with the intention of recording a thrift store video today. It kind of just happened. My wife and I were headed to lunch, and we ran into a couple of thrift stores. She has things that she likes to look at, furniture and things like that. We've done a few thrift store furniture projects. I like to look at the media, but because I was with her, it didn't feel right. Like it was our time. So I wasn't really filming or like trying to make a video, but it ended up being an incredible thrift store day in spite of itself. Like that wasn't the goal. I wasn't looking for an epic haul. It was kind of just like, hey, let's go see what's going on, and ended up being magnificent. So because I have no past Heath to cut to, we're not going to do any time traveling, no pithy comments. I will just say that this bag of goodness is it's where all the goods are, and I'll just jump right into it. So I picked up season 7 and season 8. I had to make sure it was season 8 of Scrubs, and with these two volumes I have completed my Scrubs on DVD collection. It wasn't something I necessarily set out to do. I haven't been pushing for this, but I grabbed one here, I grabbed one here, and I can now check Scrubs off the list. And I know that these are later seasons and that, you know, it as with all things, there's kind of a decline. But it feels good to complete an entire series on DVD, to know that, well, this is now represented. Scrubs is in the Serial at Midnight archives. Very cool. There are a lot of books. You know, I'm just gonna... Well, I got one more movie here. I think there's more movies in here than that. I'm gonna grab it as I just take them in the order that they're in the bag. I grabbed The Man in the Iron Mask on DVD. Now I know this just came out on Blu-ray from, is it Shout Select, one of those boutique labels. But I know that it's also kind of an expensive release. I didn't have this. I had this at one point in time. I actually really like this movie. I think I don't know what the zeitgeist opinion about Man in the Iron Mask is, but I actually like this movie. Kind of the sequel to The Three Musketeers. It's not The Four Musketeers. It's not, what was it? Was it 25 years later, 30 years later, 75 years later? There's a lot of Three Musketeers stories, but this one, it has a cast that I love. It's got Jeremy Irons, Malkovich, Gabriel Byrne, Gerard Depardieu, and Leonardo DiCaprio, whatever. But I enjoyed this. I saw this in the theater. I liked it, and I had the DVD at some point, and I guess I probably traded it in a long time ago. But I've been wanting to watch this movie for a while again, to revisit it. And so now is the time. I can do this. Wasn't this, I believe, now I'm looking at the director, Randall Wallace. Wasn't Randall Wallace the writer of Braveheart? Says it was written for the screen and directed by Randall Wallace. I could be way off base, and if I'm wrong, I'll probably cut this out so that you might never see this, because I can't look bad on my own channel. Picked up some books. I picked up Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor. By the way, we are building towards an epic finale. I'm saving the best for last. There's something that I've been looking for that's been on my list, and it's in this bag. So we're going to build. Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor. This is kind of after I jumped off the Star Wars books. I've jumped back on a few times and then right back off, because it's the book status these days, the current climate of the Star Wars books, it's not great. It's a subject for another time. So I haven't read this, but for $1, I'll definitely give it a shot. And one thing that I was standing in line waiting to check out, and I was just kind of looking through the the acknowledgments and everything, and the author, Matthew Stover, gives a shout out to Brian Daley, who goes way back, one of the first writers of Star Wars fiction, and that was cool. So if it's kind of going to recapture that, even the title, Luke Skywalker and the Shadows of Mindor, that's a very pulpy title. That's a very like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. You know, it's that Buck Rogers in the 25th century, that sort of serialized tone. Hopefully that's what it does. But fingers crossed. I picked up this beautiful copy of Murder on the Orient Express. This looks like a VHS tape, but it's not. It's the book. Apparently they've adapted the movie into a book. No, I'm just kidding. This is the Agatha Christie classic with the modern movie trade dress. And I've never read the original Agatha Christie novel, I think that this is my chance. Again, it was $1. What's cool, you know, I don't think you see much of this these days, but it's got photo inserts. You guys remember how, like, forever movie books and things that tied in would have a section of like 8 full color photos in the middle of the book. So that's cool. I don't actually know if that's a plus or a minus, but I figured this is kind of one of those books that will be, I don't know about collectible, but it won't be, you know, I think probably this version of Murder on the Orient Express is a blip in the radar of Agatha Christie's fiction history. So there's lots of copies of Murder on the Orient Express out there, but there probably aren't a lot of these. Maybe there are. I don't know. It's just kind of cool. It's a curiosity for me. So I definitely grabbed that. I wanted to read it. When I watched that movie, which I actually really enjoyed, I know it's kind of controversial. It seems like people are very split. Surprise! People are split on modern movies. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a great cast. I thought Branagh did a great job directing it. It had a good pace. It had a good cast, good ensemble cast. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Okay, I picked up Terry Brooks' Magic Kingdom for Sale. And then is it Magic Kingdom for Sale sold? Is it Magic Kingdom for Sale and then we don't say sold? I'm not sure. But I'm slowly building my Terry Brooks collection. I talked about my Terry Brooks books collection. Oh boy. I talked about some of his, I picked up the Sword of Shannara at a recent thrift store. It was an annotated edition. And there's, I have a video shot that I don't think you've seen yet. I'm not sure when I'm going to publish this video, but I have another video shot with more Terry Brooks books in it. And on the Terry Brooks books tip, I picked up Wish Song of Shannara. This is, I believe it's the third in the Shannara trilogy. Shannara, I want to watch you bleed. And yes, the conclusion of his epic trilogy that began with the Sword of Shannara and the Elfstones of Shannara. This is the conclusion of the trilogy. So I like that this is kind of an oversized trade paperback version of this. It's a hefty read. You can hit someone in the head with it if they make you mad. Okay, we're actually closing in. There's not a whole lot left. Closing in on that single epic item. A few more books, then we're going to go back to some movies and TV stuff, and then we're going to end on huge movie and TV stuff. I picked up a Doc Savage book. Hopefully these price stickers will not be a huge burden to get off. Doc Savage, novel number 11, Fear K. I don't believe it's pronounced K. Is it K? You pronounce this a certain way. Fear Kui. No, that's probably not right. I can't. How do you pronounce C-A-Y? Has its own unique pronunciation. Anyway, I'm getting deeply into like pulp fiction, spy novels, Western novels, like all these things from the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. The old YouTube host here is falling head over heels for some of that stuff. And I've got more videos coming out around that. So this was at $1. This awesome, this is probably from the 70s. Let's see. 1966, this edition, Bantam edition, 1966. Doc Savage was cool. They made a movie out of this. I believe it's on a Warner Archive Blu-ray. It might be a DVD. I'm not sure. On that note, pulp guys, pick your ears up. Get ready. Mac Bolan, The Executioner, book number 1, War Against the Mafia. This guy, Mr. Bolan here, he was why did I do that? He was one of the inspirations for The Punisher. Many people say he was the inspiration for The Punisher, that Jerry Conway, creator of The Punisher, basically took it from him. Jerry Conway says he also took from Death Wish and from Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry character, because it was the 70s, that time period, there was like a whole vigilante justice thing going on. This is the book where it all starts. Now, full disclosure, I picked up a lot of books, but also it was a lot of books being sold on eBay of some Executioner books, and I think I have the first 10 now, so there will be a series of videos about this series as well. But I have this one already, but it's a later version, different cover, different print run and everything is from 5 years later. This is from 1974, this particular printing of this book. I have one from 1979 as well. So now I have both versions, both covers. This one's in better shape than the other one, which is kind of strange because it's older. But okay, I picked up, what is this called? Mr. Palfrey of Westminster. Now, some of my British guys, some of my British friends, my UK people, what do you guys think about this? It seems very cool to me. It's got Julian Glover. Is that his name? Yeah, Julian Glover. He was in Empire Strikes Back. He was the bad guy in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Hey, an Indiana Jones callback because we've already mentioned Indy in this video. It's the entire series, the complete collection. It's got both UK series here. Look, $1.99, you guys. One of the discs looks like they just left it in a milkshake or something, but I'll clean it up and take care of it. For $2 for the entire series, sweet. And then this. Yeah, this is not the culmination. We're almost at the grand finale with the fireworks and the parade. But Whiplash on Blu-ray for $1.99, and it includes the digital copy. Now they're telling me to redeem this on Ultraviolet. I will not redeem it on Ultraviolet because Ultraviolet is dead. See the video that me and my buddy James, the comic book savant, did about the death of Ultraviolet. But I will redeem this on Movies Anywhere, because you can do that. Or maybe I'll give it to James, because he's a digital guy. But Whiplash is the movie that... Okay, so I recently fell in love with La La Land. I'm a little late to the party. I'm late to a lot of parties, and I'm usually okay with that, because the parties aren't really places that I want to be. But with La La Land, wish I'd been to the party a little bit earlier. And that director... And this is Damien Chazelle, I believe is how you pronounce. Am I saying that right? Yeah, Damien Chazelle. And his college roommate was the composer for La La Land. And while they were working on it, they worked on that movie for years, like 8 years. And while they were working on it, to finance it, to get connections made and everything, they made Whiplash. And I've been really trying to... Obviously, I could have just bought it, but it's been on my radar. Let's say that. This movie has been on my radar since... La La Land is like, wow, I got to check this guy's other movie out. And now he's done First Man with Ryan Gosling, America's sweetheart, Ryan Gosling. But I'm really excited about checking this out. And it's super cool that it's like a complete package with a digital copy as well. Okay, are you guys ready for the grand finale? I'm not overhyping this. This is an amazing score. Oh, you guys. So... Mill Creek Entertainment has released 4 shadow box collections. There's the Drive-In Cult Cinema Collection. I may be wrong on the title. There's they have a Drive-In Cult Classics movie collection. They have a horror collection. They have a World War II, well, a war documentary collection. And there was one more that I didn't have. I have all of those, and now I have the Trail West collection. I have completed my 4 Mill Creek shadow box collections. This is 50 DVDs, all these movies. Now, a lot of this stuff is drawn from 30s and 40s and some old serials and things like that. Gene Autry, McClintock, the John Wayne is on here. The Shadow of Zorro. It's a real mixed bag, but it's basically a lot of the Westerns that Mill Creek has in their library that they have the rights to. And again, with collections like this, you know, you're taking a shot. They're not all winners. In fact, with a lot of these things, especially when you get into the spaghetti Western aspect of these movies, they're almost always cropped. Or stretched or whatever. They almost always are compromised in their conditions, but you can find real gems on here. And you guys know I love my 50s Westerns, and there's a lot of that stuff here. So I'm really excited about going through this. These things have a retail price, or they did. I think some of them are out of print now, but they had a retail price of $99.99. So $100 for these. This was it's used, but it was $24.99, and guess what? It's a gray tag sale day, so it was half off. So I got this for $12.50. 50 DVDs for $12.50, and I went through them. I stood there and I went through them. It's intact. Let's see if I can It's leaving a spot where they had taped it. But you know what? That's okay. Just makes it more authentic, baby. You can smell. It smells like the dusty trail. It smells like something else, actually. But it's got everything here. I checked every disc. All 50 discs are here. No scratches. Some of the discs, 2 of the discs in particular, have a milky white substance that has dried on them. I'm hoping like ice cream or something like that. But someone may have really been into these Westerns. But I will clean them, perhaps with gloves. It's just a couple of discs with this milky white dried liquid substance on them. I will clean them up, and this enables me to now do a complete overview, not even overview, an in-depth like looking around from the inside of all 4 of the Mill Creek Shadow Box collections, because I have the whole set now. So there will be more about this coming later, but isn't it beautiful? Isn't it just a classy looking package? So I got to get all this stuff cleaned up. As you can see, I still have the price tags on it and everything, but this was just happenstance. This is why I always tell you guys, just be diligent. You know, if you're driving by a thrift store, you never know. You're probably not going to find a great deal or a great item. You know, don't go in there being like, this is the time. But if you check often enough, your hit rate is often enough, you're gonna do all right. It's like fishing. You know, you don't catch a fish every time you sink your lure into the water, but when you do, hopefully it's worth showing off and eating. I don't know, that took a weird turn. Guys, thanks for hanging out, going over this thrift store haul. How's it going out there where you guys are? Thrift stores are still in a weird place here, but obviously I'm finding things here and there, so keep me posted. Let's spread the word worldwide. You know, the UK, Europe, wherever you are, spread the word on what your charity shops and thrift store situations like in your neck of the woods. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you very much, and until next time, I will catch you later.